part of all I earn is mine to keep. If you invest properly, you can make a fortune. But you only have so much time in the day to work, no matter how much you're making. Your money is your army. 1, don't lose money. 2, see rule 1. Made probably around 40,000. So you need to vet who you're listening to. I wouldn't trust the overly flashy people. 10,000% on your money, right? All right, what's up, guys? Back again with another lesson from the richest man in Babylon. So the first video is more like how to structure your financials more generally. These 5 laws of gold are how to go about investing. Because as I discussed, there's a lot of nuance to investing. Stocks, crypto, real estate, large business, small business. But if you follow these 5 important rules of gold, you'll be on your way to being deemed a successful financial investor, right? So we're going to get into it. Law number 1. Gold cometh gladly in increasing quantities to any man that sets not less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. So what does that mean? That means all the money you make from your 9 to 5, however you make money, you should always set minimum 10% aside. And the saying in the book that goes along with that is, part of all I earn is mine to keep. And they discuss, well, isn't all of yours to keep? And the wealthy man Arcad said, no, you have to pay for living. You have to pay for food. You have to pay for clothes. You might be charitable, right? There's a lot of things that are pulling your money in different directions. So while all the money that you earn goes through you after taxes, it's not all yours to keep. But once you understand that a portion is yours to keep and you get serious about it, minimum 10%, but you can go as high as you can manage, that's when you start your path to wealth. Number 2, gold laboreth diligently and contently for the wise owner who finds it profitable employment. Multiply even as the flocks of the field. Once we're setting our 10% aside and it's building, right? If you get paid every week it should be building. Now, step 2 is you need to invest it, because as they say, if you work a 9 to 5, you can make a living. If you invest properly, you can make a fortune, right? So that's what we need to do. Once we have our method to set aside 10%, the next step is to invest it, because that's the only way it's going to grow to the proportion that you would need to be well off. But you only have so much time in the day to work, no matter how much you're making. That's utilizing the time you're not working. So you want your money to be working for you while you're working for more money. An analogy that they have in the book is that your money is your army, and you want to send your army out to conquer and bring back more, right? So when you're investing, your money is working and your money is making money and it's bringing back more money. It's a circle. While you're on your side making more money through your time and labor, so you're adding to your wealth from both ends. Gold clingeth to the protection of the cautious owner who invested under advice of wise men in its handling. Now we're going to break that down. 3 words I want y'all to take from that: protection, caution, and wise. Warren Buffett's 2 rules for investing. 1, don't lose money. 2, see rule 1. Now that we're investing it, we need to figure out our investment philosophy. And a good way to do that is to find somebody who's been successful in a philosophy that you can resonate with and learn from them. Or you can do the research yourself, but you should not be just blindly listening to these investment financial gurus who are trying to sell you something, right? There's people telling you how to day trade that don't day trade. There's people telling you how to buy real estate that don't buy real estate, or they do, but they don't do it at a high level. For example, I made probably around 40,000 through the time I've been dealing with crypto. And I only know that because I cashed out 30 to buy my house. But I'm not going to go on there and say this is how you make 30,000 or 40,000 or 50,000 or $1 million in crypto. I understand that part of my success was the timing that I actually got in the market. So I will be painting a false narrative to act like I'm a crypto expert just because I made money on it. So you need to vet who you're listening to for investment advice. The people that know what they're doing, one, have been in the industry a long time. Two, I wouldn't trust the overly flashy people. Because even if they did make a lot of money, that doesn't mean they necessarily have a formula for you to implement what they did. Like I said, I happen to get into it at a good time. While I do have knowledge on the subject, I want to be confident that what I did will work for you. You can get the highest return ever, 10,000% on your money, right? But what does that matter if you make all that and then lose it all? Wealth preservation should be the highest priority in investing. Because guess what? If you put your money in and you lose 50%, then you have to, from there, you have to make 100% to break even to your starting point. And it's a lot easier to lose 50% than it is to make 50%, in my opinion. You can listen to what everybody's saying, but you do need to filter certain things. Number 4, gold slippeth away from the man who invested in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar, or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. This is kind of another way to state what I was just saying. If you're going to invest and you have no idea what you're doing, you're going to lose your money, most likely. You need practical investments. And you need to do your research before investing, right? So while you're starting the discipline of setting aside the 10% or setting whatever percent aside that you're going to end up investing, you need to be educating yourself. Now, this can include this video because I am giving you classic foundation principles, but this is only surface level. So again, once you decide your investment philosophy, then you need to go into more depth on it. And even if you don't have a direct mentor that you can contact and say, is this a good investment or not, you can always find people in that industry who've done well. And once you gain enough information on them and their philosophies and their way of thinking, you can sort of embody their investment mindset and look at it from the perspective, right? So if I was a value investor, if I was a strict value investor that only dealt with stocks, I might look to Warren Buffett to mentor me indirectly because that's his wheelhouse and he's the highest level at it, right? So then once I've seen enough of him speaking, read enough of his work, watched enough of his moves and all that, I can then kind of figure out how he thinks. And through that, I can say, okay, I'm about to buy $20,000 worth of Bitcoin. Would Warren Buffett think this is a good idea? Obviously not. There's tons of clips of him just trashing Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in general. So you would say no. If my indirect mentor wouldn't do it, and this is a person I'm trying to emulate and replicate their success to a certain level, then it doesn't really make sense for me to do it. You know what? Even though I may be missing out on a lot of money, I'm going to stick to my guns, stick to the plan I picked for myself, and take that 20,000, do maybe a more conservative stock market deal rather than venturing into crypto. Now, say your mentor was Grant Cardone or somebody. He would probably tell you to buy an apartment building with that, or just start with like a smaller residential rental. So again, there's a lot of nuance in your investment style, but the principles are the same nonetheless. Gold flees the man who forceth to impossible earnings, or who followeth the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, who trusted to his own inexperience and romantic desires in investment. This is probably applicable now more than ever. There's tons of people telling you how to make all this crazy kind of money, e-commerce. You give me your money, I'll set you up an e-commerce store. Give me your money, I'm gonna go ahead and buy this apartment building. We're gonna split the rent. Give me your money, I'm gonna invest in these stocks. Bitconnect! Every type of finesse, financial finesse you can think of, there's somebody online trying to convince you to participate, right? You need to be careful who you're giving your money to. Even a lot of these courses are BS. They're cookie cutter, general material that's designed to give you enough information to say it's a course, but not give you all the information that you need to actually do it without any of their help and completely cut ties with them. So say it's e-commerce, they'll show you how to set up a store, how to find products, how to market, and it may or may not work. It kind of comes down to the morality of the person selling the course, because their information can be A1 or their information can be outdated, right? Because everybody wants some money, so all these markets are so saturated, and some of them so much that the information is continuously cycling because people are upgrading their standards and their practices. So I feel like I'm rambling a little bit, but I say all that to say this. If somebody's telling you you're going to get a ridiculous return, I personally wouldn't invest in it. And the ridiculous return obviously depends on the market. If somebody's saying invest in this index fund, you're going to get a 7% return, that's extremely practical. If somebody's saying invest in this stock, you're going to get a 200% return, that sounds ridiculous, especially with the time frame, because one thing about the stock market is it goes a lot slower than the crypto and other markets. Learning your field and doing your due diligence on your own will help you to spot these tricksters. Because I know that the stock market averaged 7% over the last however many years, if somebody's offering me 21% in a year, unless they're Ray Dalio or somebody that proven and stamped one of the best investors in history, then I'm not really trying to hear it. And another thing you need to keep in mind is that people can curate their reputation. You can buy articles in spreads in Forbes that'll make you sound like the best thing since sliced bread, or you can prop up Ponzi schemes. Bernie Madoff was in business 30 years? He was running a Ponzi scheme for decades. But his reputation preceded him so much that nobody would even consider it seriously for a long time. There was a whistleblower that kept reporting him, and they just shrugged him off. This is Bernie Madoff. I think he was like the chairman of the SEC or something like that. Prestigious levels. So it's difficult to be able to vet these people, because everything is good until it's not. You look at Liver King, he definitely has muscles, right? So him telling you these products do this, and that, and you not being well versed in what eating raw liver would do for you may lead you to believe in. So that's why it's very important to do your own research. Do your own research on the mentor you're going to choose and on the field itself before entering in the investments. But the overall message I want to leave this video with is a part of all you earn is yours to keep. Set aside not less than 1/10 of all the money you make. Separate it, whether it's a high interest savings account or straight into an investment account. You need that money for emergencies and to build your wealth. Then you go about figuring out how to do that. But that's the part that you can implement today. You can do it through direct deposit. You can have a chunk come straight out of your paycheck to a separate account, or you can have it go to your bank account and then you put automatic withdrawals into another account, right? But however you do it, make sure you set aside at least 10%. Me personally, I don't like being broke and having to ask people for money, right? Not gonna do it. So whatever I have to do, I'm gonna have money on the side. Out of sight, out of mind, unless it's invested. But that's all I got for you today. Hope you found some value in it. Again, read, listen to, however you want to get this information. Great book, Richest Man in Babylon. A must own. And I'm out.